Mental illness is not a sin. Christians are not going to have it together all the time. And sadly, depression and anxiety is something that a lot of Christians go through, but we don't want to speak up about it because we don't want people to know what we're really feeling. Because we think if I'm going through something like this, it means that I'm not a good Christian. But there honestly is not a good and a bad Christian. Some people will go through things like this and some won't, but just because you do does not mean that you're a bad Christian. As a Christian, you will go through all these different types of emotions. There's nothing in the Bible that says that you won't. Hey guys, it's Tessa. So thanks for clicking on this link. So I got a request that I would do this video. So I'm going to be talking about depression, anxiety, and how to go through it as a Christian. And so I did some research and things like that, and I took some notes, and I just hope that this helps. Like, I mean, I have gone through like anxiety and things, but I've never really dealt with depression. And so I'll do the best that I can, and I hope that some of this stuff will help. I have my Google Doc here just with a bunch of notes and things like that. So stick to the end of this video and give this a thumbs up if you'd like to see more videos like this, and let's get started. So the first thing that I found was this really good Bible verse, and it's 1 Timothy 6:12, and it's pretty much saying to fight the good fight of faith. And what I've got from this is life is going to be a spiritual battle. We must stay focused so the enemy doesn't ruin our lives. So if we focus on such a negative thing and set our minds on it, and just everything that we're thinking about all leads back to that, that's going to set us down. It's going to pull us down. And if we turn away from that and just kind of focus on more of the positive things, our life's going to be more easier. And I mean, it's not going to be easy because life isn't easy, to be honest. But just focusing on a positive thing can like shape your whole life and just kind of make you in a happier state of mind. I said mental illness can be a tough fight, but if we trust that the Lord is by our side as we're fighting, it becomes so much easier to push our way to overcome it. Like just what I said, if we know that the Lord is by our side, fighting with us through this battle, it's just going to be so much easier to get through it because we're not alone in our fights. I kind of wrote out what I do when I know that I'm facing anxiety. I need a drink. I've had several times when I feel anxious and sort of depressed. Not so much depressed than anxious, but usually when I start getting anxiety and things, it's about when I start thinking about my future or school or family and friends or just anything that I'm going through at the moment. I have such a fear of the future. I'm going to say that's like my biggest thing that sets my anxiety up. Or sometimes I'll feel kind of depressed when I start doubting myself and thinking that I'm not good enough for something. But there's many things that I do myself when I start feeling this way. The first thing that I usually do is I try to figure out like why I'm feeling this way. And I know that kind of sounds crazy. You're like, what? So by pinpointing like what's making you feel this way, kind of it helps you deal with it better. Because sometimes I'll just get hit randomly with anxiety and I'll have no idea why. It's out of the blue, and sometimes I don't even know why I'm feeling that way. So by finding what's making you feel that way, you can find verses, you can pray and things like that. After that, I'll turn on a worship song, and I recommend finding that one worship song that kind of like calms you down. My go-to Christian like song is Oceans by Hillsong United. Just instantly listening to that song, it kind of just like eases my mind and calms me down, and it's crazy like what that can do. But I recommend finding that song, and if you want a video, I can make a video of like a bunch of songs that I love, and I can do a video on that. Just listening to it and just having it like relax you and listening to the words and just it helps a lot. It really, really does. So when I start having anxiety, like I said at the beginning, it's usually like I'm fearing of my future, because I'm the type of person who likes to have everything laid out, like I'm doing this at this time, this at this time, this tomorrow, and I'm not the type of person that can have things sprung on myself. I don't know why I just talked about myself in third person. So I like to have everything planned out, and just not knowing what I'm going to be doing 5 years from now stresses me out, because it's just, I like to know what's going to happen. So the first verse that I usually think about is Jeremiah 29:11, and this is like my go-to verse, and I recommend that you find like your go-to verse. Mine says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope in the future. So by having that having that one verse that can calm you down is such a blessing. I recommend that you find one, like I just said. After I find out what's stressing me out, I'm listening to my worship song, I pull out my Bible, find that one verse, and after that, I automatically start praying. So I'm gonna read what I wrote here, because this is a lot, and I was just writing this last night, and I feel like this will really help. So that's why I'm not looking at you, because I'm looking at my computer. But I wrote, after that, I recommend just praying. Listen to your song and just listen and speak. God knows that what you're going through and what you want to say, but don't know how to say it. What I've learned from praying is that I never know what I'm going to say, but when I just tune into the Lord, He speaks through me and has me saying everything that's on my mind. It's actually pretty crazy when it happens. Even though He knows, tell Him how and what you're feeling. Tell Him what is making you feel this way. Then just stop and listen. Then just lay it all out. Don't be afraid to ask Him why you're going through something and why you're feeling this way. I've done this a few times, and for a while it would just feel silent. But what I've learned is that I would try to speak for Him. I would make out what I wanted to hear instead of Him speaking to me. Even though it feels completely silent, God is speaking to you. You might get a feeling, a verse, one word, a vision. He can give you so much in a silent moment. And then sometimes, which has happened to me, you will hear this deep, assertive voice telling you something. That's the Lord. That's kind of like what I'm talking about in prayer is, I know that sometimes it feels completely silent and you feel like you're just speaking to nothing. But honestly, God is right by your side when you're speaking. And He knows everything that you're going to say. And so, like I said, sometimes I'm praying and I have no clue what I'm saying at all. It's actually kind of crazy, because I just kind of spill out everything that I'm feeling and I didn't know that I was feeling, and it's insane. But so yeah, I recommend that you find out what's triggering your anxiety or depression. You find your worship song, find your verse, pray. Those 4 things, I think it was 4, I don't know, those things, just those little tiny things help you so tremendously much. So here's some verses. I'm not gonna quote them, but I'm gonna put them down in the comment section or description section. But I'll read the verses that I found. So Matthew 11:28 through 30, John 14:27, Proverbs 12:25, Psalm 23:4, Psalm 56:3, Proverbs 3:5 through 6, and 1 Peter 5:7. So I just want you to know that the Lord is by your side through every challenge that you're going through. He will never give you something that you can't overcome. So if you feel like you're going through a dark path or you're going the wrong way, God is still with you. Even if you turn away from Him and run the opposite direction, He's gonna follow you. He's gonna chase after you. So God is going to be by your side through everything. And I just want you to know that I'm also here for you. If you ever need anything, you can DM me, you can message me, you can comment, you can do literally anything, my Instagram, my Twitter, Snapchat, anything. I'm always here to answer questions or to be there to pray for you. I just don't want you to feel alone. The Lord is always there, though. I might not always be there, but the Lord is. So just remember that, because the Lord is so good and He will do things for you that you didn't even know were possible. So yeah, that's all that I have. But I hope that helped a little bit. I didn't turn on my Christmas lights. I just realized, well, I'm gonna have to re-record this whole video. Just kidding. I would not do that. But yeah, so that's all that I have. If you like this type of video, just give me a thumbs up and comment some more requests. I actually had a lot of fun like digging deeper into this because this actually helped me too, just remembering who I am and what God has created me to be. I'm always open to do more videos like this. I'm also wanting to do some challenges and things like that, but I think this is what my YouTube channel is gonna become. So make sure you check out my other videos. But I hope to be posting more this year. That's one of my resolutions, and I hope to grow my YouTube channel. So we'll see where the Lord takes me. So I'll leave the Bible verses in the description box that you can look up or just read to yourselves. So bye!
See then the stars.